Between 1968 and 1969, the city of Glasgow was gripped by fear. 3 women, young, vibrant and full of life, were found brutally murdered after nights out at the city's infamous Barrowland Ballroom. Their bodies were left in dark, forgotten corners of the city, their fates sealed by a phantom killer who would become known as Bible John. It's 1969, and Glasgow is alive with the sounds of dance halls, clinking glasses, and the hum of nighttime revellers. But beneath the glamour, fear lurks. On cold, fog-covered streets, a killer stalks his prey, preaching from the Bible one minute, leaving a trail of terror the next. For 50 years, we've asked the question, was Bible John real, or was he a ghost born from police corruption and media frenzy? On a cold February morning, the quiet streets of Glasgow's Langside district became the scene of horror. Patricia, a 25-year-old nurse and mother, was found lying cold and lifeless, strangled to death near her home. The night before, she had been dancing at the Barrowland Ballroom, enjoying an evening of music and laughter. But somewhere between the ballroom and her doorstep, something terrible happened. With no witnesses, no evidence, and no suspects, the investigation grew cold. But Patricia's murder would be just the beginning. 6 months later, the body of 32-year-old Jemima McDonald was discovered in a derelict tenement building. A mother of 3, Jemima had also been out at the Barrowland Ballroom. This time, the city was on edge. 2 women, 2 murders, and both tied to the same dance hall. Glasgow, a city already steeped in fear, began to wonder if a predator was on the loose. The only connection? Both women had visited the Barrowland the night they were killed. Helen Puttock, a 29-year-old mother, who had also spent her last hours dancing at the Barrowland Ballroom. Helen's sister Jean would provide the key clue to the case, recounting a night spent in the company of 2 men, both named John. One of them spoke endlessly about religion, condemning the moral decay of the city and quoting verses from the Bible. That would be the last time Jean saw her sister alive. Helen's body was found in the back garden of a tenement building. Jean's description of the well-spoken, Bible-quoting man became a police profile, a profile that birthed the legend of Bible John. For decades, police and the public believed in Bible John, a well-dressed religious killer who preyed on women. But what if Bible John was never real? Could these murders have been separate tragedies, bundled together by police under pressure to find a suspect? Peter Tobin, a convicted serial killer, became a prime suspect decades later. He had been living in Glasgow during the murders, and his violent history seemed to match the brutality of the Bible John crimes. But to this day, no DNA, no conclusive evidence links him to the 3 murders. The media frenzy that followed these murders turned Bible John into a household name. Headlines screamed of a serial killer stalking Glasgow, spreading fear with every new report. The front pages of Glasgow's newspapers, the face of a killer sketched from witness accounts, the words Bible John etched in bold across the headlines. The city, already gripped by terror, now had a name to fear. But as the legend grew, so did the possibility that the truth was slipping away. Then there's the darker theory, a tale of police corruption, of a cover-up to protect a suspect close to the force. Rumours of a deathbed confession have swirled, with some speculating that Bible John's true identity may have been hidden to protect a family member of a police officer. Imagine the whispered secrets of backroom deals, the fear of scandal, and a city desperate for answers. Could Bible John have been protected by the very people meant to catch him? Now in the 21st century, DNA technology may finally be cracking the case. With the name John Templeton linked to Patricia Docker's murder, questions swirl once again. If Templeton was responsible, Could the other two murders have been unconnected? And what does this mean for the Bible John legend? For over half a century, the streets of Glasgow have carried the whispers of Bible John, a figure who may be more myth than man. His shadow still looms large. But now, with new evidence challenging what we thought we knew, the mystery has deepened. Was Bible John a serial killer or a product of police and media imagination? We may never know the full truth, but what do you think? Share your theories in the comments below. Was Bible John real, or was he a legend born from fear? Stay tuned for more updates on the case.